UMass Lowell Hockey Riverhawks. I guess this coming weekend is a meeting of Frozen Four teams. UMass Lowell hosting Quinnipiac on Friday night and visiting Quinnipiac on Saturday. It is the second weekend of the season. Joining us now, the head coach of your Riverhawks, Norm Bazin. Norm, first, welcome. Always a pleasure.
Great to be with you, Bob.
And as I'm fond of asking to start things off, a quick analysis. What did you see last weekend? What did you like? What didn't you like?
Well, I think it's a work in progress. Our game was good at times, and there was definitely flashes of strong play, and there was several areas that I want to improve. I liked our hustle at different times. I think systematically we can go a long ways from where we are, and special teams needs to improve.
I know you talked about wanting to see improvement from game to game. Did you see improvement going Friday to Saturday?
Yeah, I did. I think any casual observer would have seen a lot of improvement from Friday also. I do feel that we're improving from game to game. It's just never as fast as a coach wants.
Part of it is learning systems. Do our systems change dramatically from year to year, or is it just for a lot of players refamiliarizing themselves with the system?
No, the system changes from year to year depending on your personnel. We had a very different team than we had the year before. You know, we have Gambardella playing in the middle. We have Menisha playing on another line and Campbell playing on a third line. Those are just the forwards. Then you have thrown a couple freshman defensemen in there, and it's a drastically different team. So you have to let them get used to the tempo and your standard of play.
Is that the biggest adjustment for a freshman? Not necessarily the speed of skating, but the speed that decisions have to be made?
I think that's part of it. I think also the expectation of your standard of play is very, very important, because all of a sudden practice does matter. All of a sudden being intense all the way through a game, even on the back check, is very important. So I think we're asking a lot of the young guys, and it'll be a while before they catch on.
I know a couple of the freshmen. Michael Kapla had a couple of assists. Chris Menisha had a goal and an assist, and I thought played very well, especially on Saturday night. I'm curious your impression, and I mentioned individuals, and I really didn't mean to. Your impression of the freshmen' first weekend as a group?
Yeah, I think they're pretty good. They're working in a team-first attitude, and I really like that. I think they're going to be a very good group, a very solid group. I think they will make more contributions on the board as time goes. You alluded to a couple of them who have gained a few points. I really don't look at that part of things right now. I'm looking at how hard they're playing away from the puck, and that's my biggest concern right now.
When a game's over, we in the media love to look at the stat sheet and try to make analysis. So a two-part question. When a game's over, is there a certain part of the stat sheet that you want to see that might be different from what the rest of us look at? And B, when you look at a game film, what are you specifically looking to see?
Yeah, I first look at our breakdown when we're done analyzing the film is chances for and against. That's my number one thing I take a look at. The scores can be very deceiving at times. You know, if a goaltender had a tough night or he had a great night, the score itself can be very deceiving, but chances for and against give you a better indicator as to how your team played and if they were able to generate chances. Then, you know, whether you're able to execute is a whole other story. So I think from my standpoint, how physical we were, you look back at the film and you chart some of the hits and the takeaways and some of those things that the casual fan may not see from the box score.
Based on what you saw last weekend, based on what you saw in the video, are there specific points of emphasis for practice this week?
Oh, certainly. Special teams, as I alluded to earlier, is a big facet. There's a lot of penalties this time of year, and we want to try to execute on some of those 5-on-3s that we had, and we're working on that. And more importantly, we're trying to work on getting a better penalty kill. Those are all things that we need to improve on if we're going to have continued success.
Power play and penalty kill. I don't know, it may have been you, but one coach once said to me, power plays are about skill, penalty kills about work. Is that a fair analysis?
Partly, no question. I think there's more will in a penalty kill than anything. And if you're disciplined in your stops and starts, and you're disciplined in leading with your stick and taking away passing lanes, you can have a lot of success. In a team like ours, the way it's shaped and put together should be very successful in the penalty kill. So I look forward to continued success on that in that area.
You talked earlier about scoring chances. You talked about looking at hits. We talked about starts and stops. We talk about a lot of details. Is hockey, for a successful team, is hockey about the little details?
Yeah, I think a successful program is about the details. And I think hopefully we'll keep getting better from one week to the next. But that's really what we're striving for right now, is to expect a lot of our guys and to continue to harp on the details so our game continues to evolve.
This weekend it's Quinnipiac. We haven't played them in a long time. I think we've played them just once in our history. That's a good hockey club.
I think there's a lot of good hockey clubs that you're going to see here in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and we've played some good hockey clubs already. However, Quinnipiac was the winningest program in the country last year, so I don't think I need to build them up any more than that. They're an excellent hockey club. They return 4 of their top 5 scorers, and they've got more firepower than probably most teams in Hockey East. So they're an exciting team to watch. They're very aggressive, and we'll have our hands full.
How much of this weekend's about us, and is there a little bit that's about them and things that we have to do because of their special strengths?
Well, you do have to look at the opponent. I look at game feel of the opponent and try to really look at not only their weaknesses but their strengths, because we have to stop their rush offense, for example. It's very, very potent. Their special teams has been good in the past. It's early yet, and a lot of teams are just figuring that part of their games out. But their rush offense is something we'll have to contend with.
And I guess finally, last weekend they did the banner raising, a couple of home games. You had a lot of students, especially on Friday night. It's kind of nice to see that sort of turnout.
The students are great. I think the students make the crowd experience. So with the students go with that experience, I really feel that the student section has gotten better and better as my time here. It's our 3rd year, and it's terrific. I have to give them a lot of credit because they make the whole game experience special.
All right, Norm. I'll remind people again, this weekend, Quinnipiac, Friday night at the Tsongas Center, Saturday night down in Hamden, Connecticut, and let's go get it, Norm. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Bob.